Welcome back to another episode of Take the Leap Management. It's always a pleasure to have you here, whether you're tuning in on your morning commute, during a coffee break, or just looking for that spark of inspiration to level up your game. Today we're exploring a topic that's not just exciting, but absolutely essential for anyone who wants to thrive in the fast-paced world of DevOps. We're talking about automation, how it drives DevOps success, and quite frankly, how it makes everything so much better. Let's be real for a second. When most people hear the word automation, they probably imagine robots taking over jobs or machines, replacing humans. And while there's a kernel of truth to the idea that automation reduces manual effort, the real story is much more nuanced and way more interesting. In DevOps, automation isn't about replacing people. It's about empowering them. It's about removing repetitive, error-prone tasks so teams can focus on what they do best, innovating, solving problems, and delivering value. Think of it this way. Imagine you're baking a cake. You could measure out each ingredient by hand, mix everything manually, and hope for the best when it goes into the oven. Or you could use tools like measuring cups, an electric mixer, and a timer to ensure everything is precise and consistent. Automation in DevOps is like having the ultimate kitchen setup. It ensures the recipe is followed perfectly every time, leaving you free to experiment with the icing and decorations. So, where does automation fit into the DevOps landscape? The answer is everywhere. From code integration to testing, deployment, and even monitoring, automation is the backbone of modern DevOps practices. Let's start with continuous integration and continuous deployment, or CI/CD, because that's where automation really shines. In traditional development workflows, integrating new code into a shared repository was a manual and often painful process. Developers would write code, and then someone would have to merge it into the main code base, manually test it, and deploy it. The process was slow, error-prone, and full of bottlenecks. Now let's see how CI/CD changes the game. With automation, every time a developer writes code and pushes it to the repository, the system automatically runs tests to make sure everything works. If the tests pass, the code is merged, built, and deployed. Sometimes all in the same process. This isn't just faster, it's more reliable. By catching errors early, automation reduces the risk of bugs slipping into production. And the best part, developers can focus on writing great code instead of spending hours troubleshooting integration issues. But automation isn't just about speed, it's also about consistency. Think about infrastructure as code, or IAC. Traditionally, setting up infrastructure like servers and networks was a highly manual process. Someone would configure each component by hand, and if they made a mistake, well, good luck finding it. With ISC, everything is defined in code. Need to spin up 100 servers? Just run the script. Need to replicate an environment for testing? Done in minutes. Automation ensures that infrastructure is consistent, scalable, and repeatable. No more, "it worked on my machine" moments. Let's take a moment to appreciate the ripple effect of automation. When you automate repetitive tasks, you're not just saving time, you're reducing human error, improving quality, and creating space for teams to tackle more strategic challenges. And this isn't just theory, it's backed by real-world success stories. Take Amazon, for example. They deploy code every 11 seconds. Think about that. Every 11 seconds, a new feature or update goes live somewhere in their ecosystem. They couldn't do this without a robust automation framework. It's what allows them to innovate at such an incredible pace without sacrificing reliability. Now let's talk tools, because automation wouldn't be possible without the right technology. Jenkins, GitLab, CI, CD, Circle CI. These are some of the heavy hitters in the automation game. Each tool has its strengths, and choosing the right one depends on your team's needs and workflow. Jenkins, for example, is like the Swiss Army knife of automation tools. It's highly customizable and can handle everything from building and testing to deployment. On the other hand, GitLab CI/CD is great for teams already using GitLab for version control, offering seamless integration and an all-in-one solution. And then there's Docker. Oh, Docker. If you've been around the DevOps world for any amount of time, you've probably heard people singing its praises, and for good reason. Docker allows teams to containerize their applications, creating lightweight, portable environments that can run anywhere. Pair Docker with Kubernetes, and you've got a powerhouse for automating deployment, scaling, and management. It's like having a self-driving car for your infrastructure. But automation isn't just about the tools, it's about the strategies behind them. One of the most important strategies in DevOps automation is shifting left. This means catching issues as early as possible in the development process, rather than waiting until later stages, like testing or deployment. Think of it like catching a typo while you're still writing a sentence, rather than after you printed the entire book. By shifting left, teams can identify and resolve problems before they become expensive and time-consuming. Here's another key strategy: embracing feedback loops. Automation isn't a set-it-and-forget-it solution. It's a dynamic process that evolves over time. When something goes wrong, and it will, feedback loops help teams learn, adjust, and improve. This is where tools like monitoring and logging come into play. Platforms like Splunk, Prometheus, and Datadog provide real-time insights into system performance, helping teams identify bottlenecks, troubleshoot issues, and optimize workflows. Let me share a real-world example to illustrate the power of automation. Netflix, the streaming giant, has built an entire culture around automation. They even have a tool called Chaos Monkey that randomly breaks parts of their system to test its resilience. Sounds crazy, right? But this approach has helped them create one of the most reliable and scalable systems in the world. By automating testing and embracing failure as a learning opportunity, Netflix has turned resilience into a competitive advantage. Of course, no conversation about automation would be complete without addressing the challenges. Let's be honest, automation isn't a magic wand. It requires upfront investment in tools, training, and time. And if it's not implemented thoughtfully, automation can introduce new problems. For example, poorly written scripts or misconfigured pipelines can cause more harm than good. That's why it's crucial to start small, iterate, and focus on building a solid foundation. And let's not forget the human element. Automation is a tool, not a replacement for creativity, judgment, or collaboration. It's there to augment human capabilities, not replace them. The best DevOps teams are those that strike a balance, leveraging automation to handle the grunt work while empowering their people to focus on innovation and problem solving. So, what's the takeaway here? Automation isn't just a nice-to-have in DevOps, it's a must-have. It's what enables teams to move faster, work smarter, and deliver value with confidence. But it's not just about the technology. It's about the mindset, the strategies, and the culture that make automation work. When teams embrace automation as a tool for collaboration and continuous improvement, the possibilities are endless. As we wrap up today's episode, I want to leave you with this thought. Automation isn't just about writing scripts or setting up pipelines. It's about creating a future where teams can focus on what truly matters. It's about removing obstacles, reducing stress, and unlocking potential. So whether you're just starting your DevOps journey or looking to take it to the next level, remember this: automation is your ally. Use it wisely, and it will take you further than you ever imagined. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of automation in DevOps. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe to Take the Leap Management for more insights, stories, and ideas that challenge the status quo. Until next time, keep taking the leap and keep pushing boundaries.